Has it gone live yet? Okay, here we go. Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everybody. I am kicking off a new segment for my channel. It is called Guest Choice Reviews and Discussions. And the first person to kick it off with is the very first person to actually help kick off my Versus streams back in the day. Lethal Lightning, how are you?
I am well. I don't think anyone will believe me when I say that I literally made it by like the second to be here on time. But
Yeah.
apart from that, I am well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Just living.
Happy to hear that.
Yeah. And today we are going to be discussing, as Lethal chose to do this, Batman Beyond: The Return of the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, I actually got this movie when I put in one of the digital codes for Batman the Animated Series.
Oh.
The full animated series. It came with Sub-Zero, Mask of the Phantasm, and Return of the Joker. And I'm like, well, I ain't gonna complain about that.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad.
So yeah, I'm like, that's awesome. And the crazy thing about the digital code, because I have all of these on my digital library on Voodoo, plus I have the physical copies myself.
Yep.
And the code was actually 2019 expiration.
Oh.
And I'm like, it still worked in 2022, so I ain't complaining. So, Return of the Joker, a lot of people say that because this movie is a Batman Beyond movie, which was on Kids WB and stuff, that it actually was a kids movie. When if you really think about this or think about it, this movie is a lot darker than people realize.
Even because you know how there's two cuts of this movie. Even the more, I guess, censored version is still pretty dark, but like the uncensored version, you go, that's just brutality. But I think that could be said about Batman the Animated Series as a whole. You go, it's marketed and promoted as a kids' cartoon, but when you watch it, you go, there's some very strong themes going on here that a kid won't understand. I when I was a child and they played Batman the Animated Series on TV, and I'd watch it with my dad, and I'll be like, "Oh, cool, Batman, Batman." Dad would be like, "Whoa, that was a bit full on."
Yeah. And believe me, folks, when we get into this, or when we get to a couple of the darker spots of this discussion, yeah, like I said, this movie was made for kids, but kids would not understand how dark these parts are. So the movie essentially begins with Terry McGinnis Batman in the future thwarting the Jokers, not to be confused, but with the Joker, but the Jokers, the gang from the future that kind of took his moniker.
Yeah, they're also in the very first episode of Batman Beyond.
And he's thwarting them while they're stealing some pretty hefty tech. And I gotta say, this has to be still like year 1 or 2 of this version of Batman, because they say it's in 2040, which would make Terry McGinnis 17, because according to this, Terry McGinnis was born in 2023. So next year, Terry McGinnis is going to be born.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So he handles them pretty well. He has a problem with the hyena dude, or wolf as they call him. And the bald Joker, Bonk, he just seems like extremely angry in this scene, because he goes after McGinnis at the detriment of the mission and screws it up. And one of the cool things that I do like about the Jokers in the Batman Beyond series is that Dee the twins, are actually related to a character from the animated series.
Grandchildren.
Yep. Grandchildren, in fact, which is actually revealed later in the movie near the end.
Right at the end, I think.
Yeah.
They make a nice little joke about it.
And it is a nice tie-in that it's kind of almost like fate that they would become part of the gang, the Jokers.
Yeah.
So after the whole botched theft, he goes back to the cave, and you see they do this small title sequence where you get Mark Hamill. As soon as people see Mark Hamill is in this movie, they're like, oh, now we know it's going to be good, because Mark Hamill is the best voice Joker.
Hands down.
Hands down, indeed. And having him come in for Batman Beyond: The Return of the Joker, it's like that seriously would have made or broke or make or break this movie. If they didn't have him as the Joker, this movie just wouldn't have been as good, in my opinion.
Nah, and it was the right call as well, considering he was Joker in animated series, and this is essentially a sequel to that. Mm-hmm. So you got to have it be the return of Joker, bring in the guy that actually done the role.
Exactly.
And it works. It works very well.
Another cool thing that they do is because he actually has two roles in this movie. As Jordan Price, the guy who was going to be the new owner of Wayne Enterprises. And the wonderful thing that they did about this movie is that they did a perfect misdirect. Is that they modeled Jordan Price's image off of what Joker looks like in this movie. Mm-hmm. With the slick back hair, the body build, even the freaking hook nose.
Yep.
All the way down to it. So you would automatically assume this is the Joker or the new Joker. And Kevin, but before we do get further, I do want to say hello to the chat because we got some people in here. So starting from the top, Biggles. Yep. And Jade Shadow throwing you some shade there, buddy. Such a boomer. We got, yes, Bruce Wayne will always be Batman, yeah, because Biggles is like, Terry's the best Batman. We got Simple Jack, 10th like. Nice, thank you. And thank you to all who are coming in and joining. Metalon, good to see you. Hey, guys. Sorry I've been gone for so long. Orange Hat, hope you're well. I'm doing very well. Keely Chow, always, dude, Keely is one of the biggest supporters of a lot of the community.
Keely's everywhere.
Indeed, he is everywhere. And that is one of the coolest things about him. Jacob Ironside, good to see you.
Hello.
And who else do we have? And that so far is everyone that I'm seeing in the chat. However, my chat is weird because they're not allowing everybody, even when you do live chat, it's like, what the hell? Because I have a friend, Birch Trisket, or not Birch, but another one who's not showing up in my chat, even though she says she's there all the time. And it's like, well, fuck, I don't know how to fix that. I've tried talking to you, or Team YouTube literally ignores me every time I try tagging them.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, we also got Dan Blackroyd, so good to see you.
Biggles loves dog.
Yeah. And Jade said something back here. Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill are Batman and Joker. Every time you read a comic, you hear their voices. That is actually very true for about 99.9% of people. Honestly, when I read a comic, if I'm like at the store and I pick up a Batman comic or whatever, I can literally, my mind works in very weird ways, folks. I'm pretty sure a lot of you know this about me. I can literally jump a voice between two different voices that did the same character. So while I do like Kevin Conroy's voice, and I did this as a hot take, but I also went back to liking Kevin Conroy's better. The guy who does Batman in the later DCAU movies, the 20 odd movies that they did with
what's his name again?
He's Irish, I know that. He's
played. I know you're talking about though.
But yeah, I actually thought that he did a very good Batman voice as well.
Yeah, I think he's decent. Troy Baker's Joker is a very good Mark Hamill impression.
Yes, that I will say. He actually does a good impression of Mark Hamill's. However, Mark Hamill, You just can't get better. Jason O'Mara, that's right. Thank you.
Jason O'Mara.
I knew it was an O'Mara. But yeah, he actually does a really good Batman voice. So after the title, now getting back into the discussion, after the title sequence, we get Bruce Wayne tossing his Batarang, or the newer Batarangs. One of them is just whipping through the Batcave and decapitates Two-Face. And then he just catches it in silhouette, and he's like, and it's like, well, that's Bruce Wayne being Bruce Wayne. And he turns and he's like, still got it. So then Terry comes back and he covers his suspicions. He's like, the Jokers have never hit anything like big tech and whatnot. And right now, it's not a huge clue as to what could be the greater thing. So Bruce kind of just shrugs it off. Maybe they're just fencing it. And then they find out that Bruce is now stepping back into Wayne Enterprises. That is another thing that I actually liked about this, is that he actually says, I've been trying to get back into my company for years, and now that I finally get it, I'm not letting anybody take it away, you know? Right, Kitty. Always good to see you.
Yeah.
I saw this movie through YouTube clips. I really can't remember the middle part, but I remember most of what happens. The middle part is actually one of the darker parts. Going into lurking mode, teaching. Okay, Mara. Make sure you teach those young whippersnappers what's what. So, what did you think of Wayne stepping back into the Wayne Enterprises, even though it's only a small bit of it, but then you get the introduction to Jordan Price, who's just really not happy about it. Would you say that that's a first false hint as to who the Joker might be?
Well, I remember the first time, well, maybe not the first time I watched it, but one of the first times I watched it, I legitimately thought that the Return of the Joker was actually like the same Joker, but we find out that it's kind of not. We find out who it is a little bit later.
Yeah.
But no, I was all for Bruce coming back. I mean, I think it was very much within his character. He did not like the way that his company, which is his family's legacy, the direction it was going in. So he kind of stepped in to be, hey, take the reins back and get it back on track, because when he was in charge, how much money did he spend, going into like public health systems, orphanages, shit like that. Mm-hmm. Whereas, as weird as it is to say, doesn't really make much sense saying it out loud. Bruce, the Bruce Wayne's company was becoming very corporate.
Yes, they were literally starting to go back into things that Bruce didn't really want his company to go into, which was weapons development and other shit.
Yeah.
He wanted to keep it philanthropical.
Pretty much how he had it in control. And when he took a step back because he was getting a bit older, then how ironic, isn't it? Someone
I know, right? they call older people old war horses, and it's like, yeah, you guys have no idea about Bruce. I have to describe it. Bruce Greenwood has this almost formal voice for Batman with a hint of softness whenever he spoke. Then when he raised his voice, it made me stop and add attention.
Bruce Greenwood is fucking amazing as Batman.
Now, which movies or
animated? He did Under the Red Hood, and I also believe he did Young Justice.
That was actually one that I was Under the Red Hood, when I saw that, because you actually gave it, or I believe that was one that you said was actually done very well in a movie format.
I think it's actually better than the book's always better. I don't think that applies to Under the Red Hood. I think the movie's better.
And when I watched that, I'm like, holy crap, dude, this movie is actually very good. I wasn't completely sold by the Joker in that version.
Really? He didn't like Bender Joker.
Yeah, I'm like, this is a odd take on the Joker. But I get but it's the actions of what he did to Tim Drake in that universe that works. Because for those of you who don't know, Jason Todd, that's right.
Yeah.
Not Tim Drake. Jason Todd and Tim Drake are the most tragic versions of Robin, if you ask me, when it comes to Batman, because they are always getting their asses either killed or the crap kicked out of them.
Yeah, well, like in the animated series, I remember seeing this interview and they were like, talking about it in hindsight, and they were like, we wanted to bring Jason in, and then we were like, we were already really pushing the boundaries of what we could get away with. So like, we can't do Jason's story because that's just too much. So they went straight to Tim, but they talked about how they took a lot of Jason elements and kind of mixed them in with Tim's story.
Yeah.
Which is also pretty ironic considering what happens to Tim in this movie.
Mm-hmm. And we got NB Geeks. Good to see you. I'm doing well. You didn't
Peter
like
Weller. I didn't mind Peter Weller's Batman. I think he played a good
Peter Weller is crazy thing about Peter Weller. He actually teaches in Syracuse, New York, or at SU, close to where I used to live.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, this was back when I heard that they wanted to do where they wanted to bring him back as RoboCop, and I'm like, he ain't gonna give up his job teaching to step back into the armor. He complained about that shit. But it would be good to see him back in or as RoboCop. But that's nostalgic bias. So, moving back into it, we have the Jokers back at their place or their little hideout, and it's like the Batman showed up and kind of stopped us, but we got this motherboard, or we managed to save this. This is nothing. And you hear the voice, and it's like, damn, that's chilling. Mark Hamill's voice as the Joker is always going to be great and chilling at the same time because he just does it so well.
Especially with like the black silhouette, and you can't really see him.
Yeah,
but it's just giving off this vibe of like, uh-oh,
he's definitely gonna kill somebody.
Yeah.
And it turns out that Bonk, the dude that's been mad about everything, we basically get what he's mad about because he goes off on the Joker. He's like, your day. Ever since you conned your way into our group, it's all about your day. And
it's like, isn't he like, I'm not even convinced you're who you say you are?
Yeah, he tells me, it's like, and he even calls him out. He's like, that's even if you are who you say you are. And he then tells him that he wants out. Okay. And he points the gun at him. And the dude starts freaking out because he's also trying to turn the other Jokers on Joker. And they're all looking at him like they're ready to turn on him. But then he points the gun at him. And you see the wicked smile, even in the silhouette or in the shadows. And it's like, he's going to kill this bastard. And so he does. He shoots it, or he pulls the trigger once, and it's the bang flag, as everybody knows the Joker to do. But then he points it back at him and pulls it again, and the thing shoots into the dude's chest. And he's like, that's also how we did it back in my day.
And I believe that was one of the parts that was censored in the more tame version.
Yeah. Which I think is the version that they have on the digital codes and copies and whatnot. I really
really?
Fucking I think so, because they didn't really show too much blood in this. They only showed it down the lip.
Yep.
When it came to any bloody scenes, and I'm like, they really got to start making that if you're going to do a digital code, because I do both digital and physical, folks. I have thousands of DVDs and Blu-rays. So when people say you got to start doing physical, it's like, I have more physical than you guys could or possibly imagine. But I'm also doing the digital library because it's easier on the go, you know?
Oh,
and so,
look how much you can fit on a hard drive.
Exactly. The only thing I don't like is how they changed the or how they change certain movies if they decide they want to censor it or change it, and it's like, don't fucking do that. Once you have it bought, they should not be allowed to change it. You know? But it is what it is. So we have Joker, and he's talking about how he's back, he's tanned, and he's ready to give this town a wedgie again. And I'm like, that is pure Mark having a good time. When you see how terrified the Jokers are in this movie of the real Joker, it's like now they're even though they're a gang, they like to break the law, they're kind of realizing just how extreme that this Joker is.
Yeah, they're in way over their heads. The teenagers,
yeah,
for lack of a better term, just having fun. It's like, no, you're actually dealing with a full-blooded murdering psychopath fucking criminal mastermind now.
Yeah, you guys may like doing graffiti on walls, robbing banks.
Yeah, you went from graffiti and stealing cars to, hey, we're gonna get a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, we're gonna fricking just wipe the city out. That's the kind of guy that you have leading you now. And another person that I actually caught in the voice cast for this was Michael Rosenbaum, who, in my opinion, I don't know if it's shared by everybody, played the best Lex Luthor on TV ever. Michael Rosenbaum did Lex Luthor in Smallville. Have you seen Smallville?
Oh, not in years.
Yeah.
Not a long, long time.
I just recently got that series too. I mean, for Steel, it was $50, but but considering how much it would have cost not on sale, I say I got it for a steal because it said crossed out 600 some odd dollars.
Damn.
And I'm like, I'm grabbing that. And yeah, Michael Rosenbaum, he plays Ghoul, the guy that carries around the pumpkin that kind of looks like a scarecrow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can actually hear his voice in it. Yeah, I can actually hear it. Because he throws his voice a little in. They're looking for new places to get the part that they need that they botched in the beginning. And they don't show the words because Batman Beyond did it may not be the right word. Lazy animation is what I call it. So they don't show too much detail in their animation.
I wouldn't say it was lazy animation. I mean, they even kind of do that in the animated series.
Yeah.
Like you just see like a computer screen, it'll be blue with
just
like
blacked out lines,
bars or dots or whatever.
And he's
it's never bothered me.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's the wrong, or it may not be the right word, but it's that's the word that I just threw out there. So so that actually wasn't Christopher Walken. No, it wasn't. Although he actually does sound a little bit like Christopher Walken. I will say that
like Christopher Walken.
He sounds a lot like him. And it's like, Michael Rosenbaum, are you sure that is? Because at first I thought that was exactly who it was, Christopher Walken. But yeah, it was only Michael Rosenbaum that was doing the voice. And so he points out, he's like, ooh, this one. And they're like, security's going to be tight. That's why it's going to be so much fun. So we get to the gala where Bruce Wayne is being welcomed back to his company. Janet from another planet and more people are coming in. I've never watched Smallville. Riot Kitty, you need to, you know what? I'm almost ready to give you access to my Voodoo account so you can actually watch it. All 10 seasons. Because that's tragic. Smallville was actually one of the greater new age modern tellings of Superman, in my opinion. Yes, it had its problems, but still, if you guys want to hear my thoughts on it, I did a hour-long, I think it was an hour-long review of Smallville after I got done watching all of it. Janet from another planet, good to see you.
Hello.
Lovely Sherry, good to see you. Cayman Rider, good to see you. What? No, don't do that. That's too much. I have HBO Max. And, yep, nice thumbnail. Are you a huge anime fan? Lethal is.
Yes,
Lethal
sir.
is a humongous anime fan. So definitely Kamen Rider. If you want to follow anime or a person that does a lot of anime discussions, follow Lethal.
I am
And
weeb.
if I have any of my or Riot, if you can get Lethal's channel in the chat, because yes, he covers anime and also Riot Kitty does or is a huge anime fan too. She's
Doing
also creating her own anime.
Yeah, and she's doing some I guess rewrites of a show
Yeah.
that she thought kind of fell off.
I think it's Ruby.
Yep.
And I'm a huge anime fan as well. Raquel SSG, good to see you. Thank you for stopping in.
I mean,
You're one that I
look at the
don't
profile
think
picture.
I've seen before. Yeah. But yeah, his profile picture says it all. So yes, we got a lot. I mean, me when I was younger, I was an anime fan. The first anime that I was a fan of for many people over or in America is Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z and whatnot. I am an avid supporter of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I love watching the Japanese dubs because those are the best dubs and they're the original dubs. However, I liked the Funimation dubs up to a point. I mean, now I've kind of grown away from them because the people at Funimation are kind of just seriously fucked up in the head. First anime for NB Geeks was Akira, however.
Dick Grayson Robin in the animated series does the Akira Blackslide.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
And it's Ruby. My first video on the rewrite subject is my longest video ever at the 27-minute mark right now. And still some parts to go. Nice. And yes, Jay Shadow, anime is life. And my second one, which actually I am very pissed off at Netflix for doing this, is Yu Yu Hakusho. That is my second favorite anime. And it's like, oof. Netflix, you do it, you die. I will. I know. And it's like, haven't you guys learned from Cowboy Bebop? I mean, seriously, haven't you guys learned? I mean, you have that clip of what's her name doing her little skin routine, and
that was funny. I don't know why she.
It is funny.
That.
It is
that
funny.
She was making fun of herself. She should have kept that.
Yeah, she could have. That was her audition into the porn industry when she fails miserably in entertainment.
She's in The Walking Dead now, I hear.
Good luck to her. Earliest anime. Oh shit! Metalong has just corrected me because I forgot that Voltron was anime. I always thought it was an American cartoon when I was younger. Whoops. But yeah, Voltron is my first anime, but I also like Dragon Ball Z, Yu Yu Hakusho. I was a Toonami guy on Cartoon Network. A lot of that stuff I got into through Toonami. But getting back to the conversation. So at the gala is when Bruce sees the Joker face to face, and the look on his face says it all when he goes, "Wada." It's like, it can't be.
Yeah, and he knows. He's like, this ain't some part of like Joker's gang. Like, this guy is legitimately him.
Yep. And in Joker, he even goes right up to him. He's like, "Who would know me better than you?"
Yeah.
Now,
pretty creepy.
Yeah.
But it's also a nice little foreshadow for who he is.
Mm-hmm. And it really does sell very well. And then Batman Beyond, Terry comes in, and Joker he's like, the ears are too long, kind of missing the cape. He's not impressed at all. He even calls him Batfake all the time. And it's like, that just is like the ultimate insult when you have one of the most ruthless villains of the original Batman looking at you, and it's like, not impressed.
Not impressed, yeah.
And he's like, woof. And the hyena got Terry. How does Terry win when he's always having problems with the freaking hyena? You know, it's like, dude, I know you're year 2, but you should have these guys down by now.
He's also pretty young, though.
Yes, he is. He's only 17 because he was 16 when he donned it. He was 16 when he became
very young to be Batman.
Yes, and Bruce. But we find out what you guys don't know if you watch the Justice League Unlimited epilogue.
Yeah,
you find out that the reason Terry was chosen by Bruce Wayne was because he's a fucking clone of Bruce Wayne. He's a clone of Bruce Wayne, and they literally were going to have the Phantasm chick kill his parents.
Andrea.
But she reneged. So it's like, well, now Waller has to... I mean, when Bruce Wayne is working with Amanda Waller, you know that he's truly lost it, in my opinion. Because we all know who Amanda Waller is. So, but yeah, getting back to the show, the Joker knows, or he says it later on, but he knows how to beat Batman. He knows how to get away with whatever he's doing. There's layers to everything he does. His entire debut or reemergence was basically just a smoke and mirrors to get the component he needed. And then, in order to keep Batman from stopping him, what does he do? He endangers the public. He's like, so what's it going to be? Stopping me or rescuing them? And Terry makes the right call. He goes after the civilians in harm's way. And I love how Bruce Wayne, he's like, or he's just looking in or kind of shocked, but then he has that more stoic look. He's like, he knows it really is him, but he doesn't want to acknowledge that it is. He's in denial in the whole thing, but he knows deep down that it is that Joker. Everything is pointing to it, that it is him. It's just he really doesn't want to accept it because that was literally one of the darkest times in his life.
And he's also worried about Terry. He's like, Terry, you're not going to be able to compete. I could hardly keep up with this guy.
Yep, because this is a kid. This is Batman Beyond, who's not even legally an adult, going up against one of the most ruthless villains in the Rogues Gallery of all of Batman's
on top of that,
villains.
Which we find out later in the movie about before the big reveal.
Yeah.
The flashback of Tim. When Tim goes missing. So that's playing on his mind as well. That kind of ties back into what I was saying before about how they, in the animated series, they wanted to do Jason, but they couldn't. So they incorporated some of Jason's elements into Tim.
Yep.
So then Tim's had this very fucked up moment with the Joker. And now Joker's back and Batman's like looking at Terry being like, I think you're out of your league against this guy, man.
Mm-hmm. Metal Long, if you look up on YouTube Justice League Unlimited epilogue, you'll find it. They do the whole thing with Terry McGinnis and talking with Amanda Waller, and Amanda Waller explaining that is Epime did. Batman left his DNA all over Gotham. It sounded like Batman was. Yeah. The worst part of that is Terry is still with Dana. God damn it, man. Where there were plenty of girls who wanted to screw you that are better than her. Honestly, he should have got with the other chick, the black chick, the one that Nikki Futterman did the voice of. It's dumb, Recon. Yeah. So, yeah, Bruce is trying to protect him, and he tells him, "I want you to return the suit."
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "Look, wait, what?" And he wants to know, or what's going on. He's like, "You killed him, didn't you? He did something so bad that you had no choice." That's kind of close to it. I mean, that would actually be the reason that Bruce Wayne would go with, or to deflect blame from where it truly is. But he also, I wanted him to get with Melanie, yeah. he should have got with 10 that is real. 10 that is okay. Or stayed with 10. I don't recall a character named 10 in Batman Beyond, but all right. So yeah, he has to, or he tells him to return to suit. And yes, this is Bruce. Effectively, he's like, you're not ready for this. This is a level that is beyond what you are here for. So he goes to Commissioner Gordon, who is Barbara Gordon in the future. And she shuts him down really quick. She's like, go away, McGinnis. Well, isn't that, or, and he's like, what can you tell me about clowns? In this town, they're never funny. And she shuts him down because, and he even starts doing the whole bravado thing. It's like, what, a bunch of whoopee cushions, laughing, or spitting flowers. I mean, what is the problem with this guy? And she tells him, look, the Joker, the real Joker, is somebody that you wouldn't, or you are not to go up against. I wouldn't even wish that on you. This is somebody, it can't be him. She doesn't even think it's him, because this is bringing her back to that darkest time as well. And then you see the introduction to Tim Drake coming in as an old man, even though, or you saw him earlier reacting to the news that the Joker is back. And he goes in to talk with Barbara as McGinnis is heading out. And then we get to him going out to party with Dana, because he's no longer the Batman. And at the same time, this happens in so many movies, but it happens really good in this one. There are so many movies where the bad guy knows how to get under the hero's skin, and they do a two-pronged attack. You have the Joker literally sends his gang after Terry unmasked, and he goes for Bruce and attacks him, while Bruce immediately knows what he's doing. He immediately starts making anti-Joker toxin. And then his dog Ace, God, I love that dog Ace, gets injured, and the Joker comes in. When he comes out through the smoke, it's like, that is one of the coolest scenes in the movie. It's just, he's like, just an old pal coming to visit. And you know that because Bruce is so thrown off by the fact that the Joker's back, he's making the Joker toxin, or the anti-Joker toxin, but honestly, could he stop the Joker if the Joker came calling? And the answer is clearly no. So we get the fight with the Jokers versus McGinnis, and then which he is able to handle them. And you also see the twins the twins without their makeup. How do they have hair that long when they're dolled up as Dee Dee? They have like freaking extremely short hair. That is just one of the miracles.
I don't know.
I know. It's like, come on. This is just weird. I mean, it has to be future technology. Shrink the hair. You need to grow your beard out again. Chicks dig the beard. I kind of am, because I have that challenge for my channel. If I get to 1,000 subs before June, I'm going to dye my hair and my beard all orange. So everybody can make fun of it during the 1,000 sub celebration stream. But it has to be done. I have to get to 1,000 before June 1st. Then I'll do it. Otherwise,
February, March, April,
y'all miss out.
May, June. So 2 months.
Yeah. So if anybody can get me to 1,000 subs,
just think of the memes, people.
Exactly. Think of the memes. And I'll take enough. And here's another thing I'll do for you folks. Whenever I do a live stream, I'll even go on camera while I'm oranged up. So that you can all do your screenshots and your clips and all that stuff too. I'm already subscribed. Yep, thank you for that, Janet. But yes, share out the channel. That's all, or share out the videos, content, get people interested. That's all. Because I'm trying to get as much of my content out. It's just that this year literally threw me for a loop because losses and whatnot. Somebody said memes. Hey, Skirmitar, good to see you. Yeah, Skirmitar, I don't know if you know, but if you can, or if my channel gets to 1,000 subs before June 1st, I'm dyeing my hair orange, so and my beard
one
orange.
thing I would recommend, just to go a bit off topic, and I think I've said before, but tags, always tag, even live streams.
Yes, I've been tagging the hell out of my videos.
I know this stream has no tags. I can see
yes,
that.
this one doesn't have tags. I'm trying to figure out how to do that with the studio. Through
You just same process. Just go into the back end. If you need help, it's all there on YouTube. There's just go on YouTube and just type in how to tag videos, how to tag live streams. It's a gajillion.
I will look into that. I will definitely look into that. But yes, getting back to it, Terry, after he gets attacked, he decides to go back to Bruce because he just realized they came after me, not Batman. And he finds Bruce or the cave littered with ha 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 in red paint, which would have been cooler if it was actual blood. I mean, I'm pretty sure that may have been a suggested. I tagged like 5,000 words. Yeah. So
I think there's a maximum 500 characters.
Yeah, there's a 500. Yeah, I was about to say 5,000. I think it's 500, dude. But yes. Yeah, it was spray paint. Yeah, sadly it was spray paint, but it would have been more Jokerish if it was blood, just to be completely honest, in my opinion.
But who would the blood have been of? Because he didn't kill Bruce.
He should have killed the damn dog. When it comes to dark scenes and dark movies and whatnot, kill the dog. I like the rules of real estate. Tags, and tags. Yeah. So yes, Bruce got what did you think of Bruce getting Jokerized?
Loved it. Yeah. Loved it. I thought it was great. Very fitting, considering after all these years, it actually finally happened to Bruce.
Yeah. And the thing is,
and it also shows that, this is like Joker. Like he ain't here to play games.
No, he isn't. And the thing is, he's even able to fight off the damn toxin because he manages to break through it, telling Terry to look under the table so he can get shot up with the antitoxin. And then Barbara Gordon tells him the story, the truth of how the Joker bit it. And folks, this is where it does get dark, man. This is where it is so dark, where Tim Drake was Robin. He went out to stop a crime, and it was Harley Quinn setting him up. She hit or knocks him out, and over 2 weeks, the Joker is working on Tim, breaking him down, shocking the shit out of him, hitting him with Joker toxin, and they end up twisting him into a child version of the Joker that can't stop laughing. Imagine what you got to do to a kid. Yeah, imagine what you got to do to a kid to get him to snap like that. And
torture.
Yeah, it's just constant. This is the Joker torturing a kid. Jason Todd was all of like what, 12? Or not Jason Todd, Tim Drake. When he was a kid at the time, he was all of what, like 12, maybe 13.
Yeah, around that. I can't picture him being much older.
Yeah, and it's like that's how dark the Joker is. He tortured a kid and turned him into a twisted reflection of himself. So, and to make matters worse, while they're showing the whole fight between him and Batman, and also Harley and Batgirl, Harley ends up falling into a pit or off a cliff. So you don't
presumed dead.
presumed dead, and Batman is watching a film that the Joker made of what he did to Tim Drake. And then he realized that, or Tim spilled the beans because of the torture of who Batman is.
I mean,
And
you
I
can't
love
really
how
hate on him for that. I mean, it
no,
was pretty intense torture. But just to backtrack a little bit, like my favorite part of this movie that always makes me laugh is when Barbara's telling Terry about how they were looking for him for like 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
And it shows Batgirl like talking to
to two prostitutes, yeah.
And then it cuts to Batman and it shows him throwing this dude out a window.
It's like, was that the pimp? But yeah, that is also, that's like, there's no way around it. Those two prostitutes that she's literally asking is like, have you seen this kid? It's like, you're asking prostitutes.
Well, I think it just, the point I was going to make, it just goes to show like how fucking unhinged Bruce was at this time.
Yeah,
like,
he's
one's
literally
all like calm and collected, and the other one's throwing people out of windows.
Yeah, I mean, Bruce at this point when he was looking for Robin, he was, as she said, they were scraping all their underworld contacts, trying to find any trace, and then they had to go to Old Arkham because there was a new one being made, and the Joker took up residence at Arkham, or Old Arkham. So when he tells him that he knows who he is, and when he says his name, Bruce, and his eyes just go squint, or narrow, and he realizes, okay, now, or you just see that Batman's registering the information. He's like, okay, now he knows my identity. Now, there are several different versions of where the Joker does know who Bruce is. And there are several ways that he reacts to the news of who Bruce, or Batman being Bruce Wayne. And there's several versions of the Joker that doesn't want to know who Bruce Wayne is, because he's even said it in one comic, I believe. I don't want to know who you are, because what fun would that be?
There's even ones where he knows, but he just doesn't care.
He doesn't tell anybody, or he doesn't care. He's like, I don't care who you are. And there's other ones he's like, or where he does know, and Batman's like, why wouldn't you tell anybody? What fun would that be? There was even the one in the animated series where that doctor freaking found out who he was and was willing to auction it off. Yeah, Dr. Hugo. Or Hugo Strange and whatnot. And I believe the Joker did show up, but if he would have bid for it, he would have destroyed the tape. But this Joker, which is the animated series Joker, realizing who he is, he's like, under all that sturm and the batarangs, you're just a poor old orphan crying out for mommy and daddy. I'd be laughing if it wasn't so pathetic. Oh, what the hell, I'll laugh anyway. And that's when Batman just flips. He just starts beating the shit out of him. And I'm like, oh, now you actually see a little bit of fear in his eyes, because he's trying to get up and get away from him, but he just starts throwing him around the room. And he's like, I'm gonna break you into. And the Joker's reaction, he's like, oh, come on, if you had the balls for that, or we wouldn't even be here. And so then we get to the crux of the whole real dark aspect of it. He's like, Bruce, or Robin is mine now, Batman. There's nothing you can do about it. And then he's ready to kill he's now that he's had his fun, he now knows who Batman is. It's not going to be fun anymore, folks. Let's just face it. For the Joker at that time, Batman would no longer be interesting to him.
Yeah, time to kill him off.
Yep, I now know who you are. Now it's just anticlimactic. So now it's time to kill you. And he tosses the gun to Tim. And Tim pulls the trigger with the bang flag. And with further prompting, he ends up shooting the Joker instead. And the Joker, he's like, that's not funny. And it's
then,
like, oh,
Tim, having just killed Joker, has a complete mental breakdown.
Yep.
And Barbara has to come, hug him and console him and all that. And Tim's just fucked up. It's pretty brutal, really.
If you think about it, if you think about all of the consequences of that, or this kid just murdered somebody. So yeah, Barbara says after we had a close friend who was a doctor to look after him, and after a year they finally got him to some semblance of sanity.
Yeah.
And
she explains as why we see him when he's older. He's very
calm and
timid.
collected. Yeah, timid. Yeah. So now he has to go look for Tim Drake. And I love how Tim's working on that thing, and he's like, "You might as well come out. I heard you coming a mile away." Because this Batman has the stealth tech, like freaking Metal Gear Solid stealth tech. And I'm like, nice. Because that also shows and he even says, with the training I have, that never goes away, even as an old man. And he then tells him just how much he doesn't like the suit. I couldn't even stomach looking at that suit anymore. And they didn't want me to come back in, so I decided, fuck it. So it was kind of a dead end where Tim Drake's clean. So then he decides to check out, if I remember correctly in this order, Jordan Price, who everybody would think is the Joker because he's eating it up he's eating it up now that Wayne is taking a bad fall, according to the public record. And so it's like, oh, shit, So he goes to see... Oh, crap. Hold on. I'm going over the talking points. Yes, the old Tim Drake. Now, when they say I couldn't even look at that suit and whatnot, also when Terry McGinnis helps clean up the Batcave a little bit, you see that the Robin suit has been thrashed. And also Tim Drake saying I couldn't even look at that suit anymore. That does betray a clue. That gives you a humongous clue as to who this Joker might be, or who he might be working with. It all depends on how you see it from a certain point of view. I didn't know there were two versions of this movie. You got the edited kid-friendly version, and you have the uncut adult version. I'm definitely going to be looking for the uncut adult version.
Yeah, it's more full on. There's quite a bit more. Well, I wouldn't say a lot more blood, but noticeably more blood.
Yeah,
and some of the kill scenes are a bit more brutal. Like I don't think Tim in the cut version. I don't think he shoots Joker.
Oh yeah, he shoots him.
Not the cut version, I don't think.
Oh yeah, I watched it, and it shows him getting or shows the damn thing go right into his chest.
Really? I thought on the edited version. I don't think he shot him in the edited version. I think he did something else.
I'll have to check it out. Maybe I do got the darker version then. But anyway, he goes to talk to Jordan Price, who's on a Wayne Enterprises yacht, living on living off of Wayne's perks, and he's about to have a prostitute or some chick, and it turns out to be one of the Dee-Dees, and the Jokers are there basically saying, "Yeah, you're now a loose end because we helped you take over Wayne Enterprises. We got the big guy out of the way for you, but now the guy who introduced us all thinks you're a loose end." And then you see this you see the sky get really white, and Jordan Price getting saved after the Jokers get out of there. And the big ass laser sinks the whole freaking thing. And it's like, holy shit. Joker's got a new toy. So we then have Price getting arrested by the police because Terry recorded the information. And it's like, so this is the confirmation that Price isn't the Joker. Even though they basically are the same build, same hairstyle, same crooked nose, it's not him. Same voice actor. but it's not him. So it's a very, very clever misdirect. And that is one of the cool things I like about that movie, or the movie. So now everybody's at square one. It's like, well, then who the hell's the Joker? Because now, friggin' Terry's like, he would have had the solve by now. I would have punched it, or if I was like the old man, I would have punched in the right commands and had all the right information. And even Bruce tells him it's not ever that simple. And he then, or they are back in the cave and they're talking, and then Terry sees the Robin suit and he puts it together. I just talked with Tim Drake, and he has even less love for that suit than Robin does. Why is this the only one thrashed? Tim did shoot him. Yeah, but that's more than just hatred for somebody who killed you, you know? That's personal. That is pure rage for that suit. So he says he may, or even if Tim Drake isn't the Joker, he knows who is working for or with him.
He's connected somehow.
Yeah, he's connected. I have to head off, so I'll just say you can tell just how iconic this movie was, just by how much Arkham Knight copied the story. Yep. Joker returning after death, slowly Jason brainwashed Arkham like Tim. Yeah. I don't recall Tim shooting the Joker in the edited version. Then maybe I do not have maybe I actually do have the more uncut version.
So, I think you do.
Yeah, I might actually.
I'm pretty sure he didn't shoot him in the cut version.
Yeah.
I think.
I
can't remember.
I'll definitely have to. I'm definitely going to look it up. Yeah, in the censored version, he pushes the Joker into some chemicals and gets electrocuted. Right, I do remember that. Thank you, Stunning and Brave.
Oh, Stunning and Brave Megatron's here. What's up?
Yep. I should revisit this movie sometime. I'm definitely going to look up the differences between the two versions now after we're done here. So now he goes looking for Tim Drake, and he gets to a little lab area where Tim is known to work. And this is how smart the Joker is. He planned for him to put it all together, and he's like, oh, well, now you found out, but good luck getting out of this. And this is where the Joker slips up, telling him the whole idea of what he's going to do and whatnot, because now he has access to a freaking laser satellite. And I like how this room is built to where it's very hard for Terry to get out of it, where he's trying to throw batterings and the damn things just keep getting shot down. And it's like, oof. So eventually breaking out of that and going to Jolly Jack's candy store factory, you then figure out the true reveal, because he finds Tim Drake there unconscious, and even reading his vitals, he's telling the truth that he doesn't know where the Joker is. But then you get the reveal, because Tim Drake calls him Batfake, also calls him Terry. He's like, I know everything about you, Batfake. And then he clips him with the shock on the wrist. What did you think about the reveal?
You mean just in general of Tim being Joker?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Would not have guessed that. Would not have guessed that in a million years. And like Epi said, it just shows you how much this movie's been copied over the years, or something like that. But Tim being Joker, like I said before, talking about how in the animated series they wanted to do Jason, but they couldn't, so they put a lot of Jason elements into Tim. Very fitting in a lot of ways, but very tragic at the same time. I do think it's a lot better than just saying, oh, no, Joker survived all those years. I think that's a bit of a cop-out, whereas this is more evil, diabolical, and twisted.
Yeah, because he also explains it that after he actually turns into the Joker, they show the transformation, and they explain that there's a little dot or a diode on the back of his neck that kind of just looks like a mole, and it's actually nanotech that he pinched here and there. It's like he must have pinched it from Cadmus,
Hmm.
because back then that would be the only place that would have that kind of technology where you could input your own DNA into a small microdiode like that. And he also reveals that he's been coming out periodically, but he can only do it for a limited time without doing too much damage to him. Going to go back at some point and rewatch a lot of the animated Batman films on HBO Max. I have them on HBO Max, and I also now have them for my digital library. So yeah, he sounds familiar. It's kind of like a brain chip, like right in the back of his neck, to feed the Joker's subconscious into him. So and this was done when he was a kid. So it was the most insane yet genius backup plan that the Joker had. That even
I've
though
just been looking up some of the what was cut and what wasn't. Looks like quite a lot of DD was cut.
Interesting.
Because she's got it. Well, they've got a fight scene here where they're like kicking the shit out of Terry. Every time someone gets kicked in the head, cut.
Yeah. Then I definitely had the uncut version.
A lot of fights. A lot of the fights is cut.
Yeah, I definitely have the uncut version, because if they had, or the cut version, if it was going to be an hour long, it would be 40, or they would have it around 42 minutes for ads and whatnot for on TV if it was going to be an hour long. So yeah, they would have definitely cut a lot of the different things, because what the hell is wrong with kicking a person in the head? But they actually really do that a lot to Batman in this movie. Dee Dee loves to go for the head.
Just from what I'm seeing here, of quite a few of the people that get killed don't get killed in the cut version. It's just it just shows them sitting down, like laughing hysterically, like Joker toxin, as opposed to just outright getting shot.
Yeah, because even when Joker kills Bonk, he has the mad grin on his face, or when he's dead. But apparently he would just have he would just be laughing maniacally or in the edited version. Huh. I reviewed
quite a lot of it's cut. I didn't realize just how much of it was cut. You've definitely got the uncut version.
Yeah, I definitely do then. Wish there was a little bit more blood to it then. But yeah, so we then get the fight between McGinnis and Joker. And one of the coolest things I like about it is what the Joker tells him. You're out of your league, McGinnis. I knew everything that the original Batman and Robin knew at their peak.
And this is like one of the best Terry moments. He goes, yeah, but I'm not him.
Yep. And
so
he tells him, he's like, how can I fight this guy? What are his weaknesses? He's like, the Joker is vain. He likes to talk a lot. And he's like, wait a second. So do I.
Yeah.
And then he just starts fighting dirty. He freaking cranks his arm up and knees him in the nuts. He's like, wait, what? And he does. Who would have known that reverse psychology and psychoanalysis on the Joker would piss him off so much? Because that's what Terry does to unhinge him even more.
And I know before we're talking about how Arkham Knight copied quite a lot of this movie. That happens in Arkham Knight as well. Reverse psychology on him.
Well, then maybe that is his full-on weakness. He doesn't like to be analyzed or told that he's not funny. Because Terry, he just goes off. He's like, dude, come on, crap, or freaking do something, like, or bring on some old school comedy, because this new stuff, or you're just talking and laughing and it's not really funny. And it ends up pissing the Joker off to where he's throwing grenades everywhere. And I also like how the Joker's ready to unleash this satellite, the one that he used to destroy the yacht. He tells him, he's like, so where should I shoot this? Should I shoot this at Gotham General, where Dana's recovering? Or maybe where the McGinnis family is, or in their little play area? And it shows his mother and his younger brother. Also, one of the cute things to circle or to go back a bit was when Terry or Bruce took the soup away, and Terry's at his house, and his brother's like, "Mom, there's some stranger in the house." It's a cute little moment, but it's still funny. Where his brother's like,
and he's like,
"Mom, there's a
I'm
stranger in the
Batman,
house."
and they just laugh at him.
Yeah. And pushing buttons on his narcissist. Yes, Joker's weakness is pushing buttons on his narcissistic tendencies. Yeah. Hey, Happy Dino, good to see you.
Hello, Happy Dino.
I find it funny insulting the Joker's comedic abilities make him pissed. Well, yeah. So then he finally actually does get him with one of the grenades. And he starts choking the life out of him. And he's like, "So what are you going to do now, huh? Laugh, McGinnis." Oh, looks like we got a troll in the chat. Fine.
Troll?
Yeah, Naked HD. Somebody want
That's a bot.
Yeah, one of the bot troll thingies. Troll bots. Sex bots. This ain't the frickin' 2080s, folks. Sex box, get out. Anyway. I also do like that in this fight, you see the return of the hand buzzer, which is a classic Joker weapon. And Terry actually uses it against him to fry the chip.
Yep. And that means no more Joker, period.
Yep, the Joker's now well and truly dead. Now, here's the thing. With the Joker putting in his DNA from before he dies, the only way that he would know anything afterward was if he was coming out of Tim Drake from time to time. So I have actually heard in some discussions about this, how did this Joker know about certain things? It's like he's coming out periodically, as he admits. So all he would have to do is just look into Tim Drake's own memories.
Yeah, and there'd be like a bit of he's conscious in Tim as well.
Yep.
So he could go probing in his mind pretty much whenever he wants.
Yeah. And then we get to the ending where they escape and the satellite fries the building that they're in because the hand buzzer ends up frying the circuitry a little bit and resetting it to strike at home base. And I just love how he's like, "Oh, well, thanks for screwing it up, kiddo." And he's going to just try to walk away before the fight gets going. And he's like, "You're not going anywhere. Dude, look what's coming." I mean, the Joker's not without reason, but he's also completely without reason at the same time.
Yeah, I guess that's part of his character, is how contradictory he is a lot of the time. Today I'm going to do nothing. Tomorrow I'm going to go paint a smiley face on a statue in the city. The day after that, I don't know, I might kill 200 people.
Yeah. I mean, one of the darkest versions of the Joker, in my opinion, is Injustice Joker.
Injustice Joker, technically, he won.
Yeah, he did win. But it's what he did to Superman that makes him the darkest Joker.
Yeah, I hated the Injustice movie, but I quite like the video games and the comics.
Yes, the video games and the comics and whatnot, it's like, holy crap. Because when I saw the Injustice games, I usually, because I'm not a gamer anymore, I watch the video game story modes and whatnot. I love the story mode videos. They're like multiple hours long and you just go at it. But then I heard the comics of like what happened to lead in between him killing Joker and the heroes from another universe crossing over. And there is a lot that happened. But for another discussion. I mean,
a lot.
Yeah. So at the end, when everything is said and done, they see that the building is destroyed. This, to me, would have been a missed opportunity, in my opinion, because we all know how calculating and how backed up plans the Joker has, right? So if he was going to be thwarted, he'd want to go out with a bang. What they should have done in in the uncut version, lace that or wire that entire building with bombs of Joker toxin. That if he gets stopped, at least some people around the building would be infected with Joker toxin.
I get that, but at the same time, he wasn't planning. He did not think he was going to lose because he was still under the impression of, I know everything Batman does. I know Bruce Wayne. He was very tricked himself into thinking he had no chance of losing.
Yeah. I mean, that also does make sense. So I will let it go, but I just feel that it still would have been something that would have been befitting of the Joker to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we get to the ending where Tim Drake's in the hospital recovering, and we see that Bruce eventually visits him too. And he also tells Terry, he's like, "You're wrong, Terry. You told me once before that you felt that being Batman gave you meaning. It's the other way around." And then he visits and then he goes in and visits Tim Drake, and we get the ending of Terry flying off as Batman. Now, how would you rate this movie from out of 10?
8.5.
Honestly, I would actually put it at about the same, at about the same, 8.5. Because while there is great moments in this movie, there are things that just could be done a little bit better.
It doesn't make my top 3 DC animated movie, but it probably makes my top 5.
Yeah. And what is your absolute favorite of the DC animated?
Well, my favorite is Red Hood.
Yeah.
But Mask of the Phantasm, I would say, is the best one. So it's a bit objective and subjective.
Yeah. I recently actually watched that one also a while back, and I'm like, I forgot how good this movie is.
Oh, it's perfect.
The only real thing I do have a problem with in that movie is they gave the Joker an origin. I like an originless Joker. Killing Joke and stuff, I get that, but by having a person that you can't get a read on, who you can't use their past against, that makes them all the more dangerous.
I mean, that's fair, but I think like what they did with Phantasm, with tying that in with Andrea.
Yeah, I mean, it works with the story. Don't get me wrong; it does. It works beautifully with the story. But it's like, now we got to know what made him go insane. Besides falling in a vat of acid and bleaching his skin. How did he end up there? So that is going to be our discussion, folks. Thank you so much. And Lethal, give yourself a plug, so let people know where you are or where to find you.
I am on YouTube under Prince Lethal. I talk about many a thing. At the moment, my main focus is the Halo show. And I'm pretty active on Twitch, Twitch TV.Lethal Lightning or whatever it's called. But thank you, Orange, for having me on. And this was just an excuse to rewatch a great movie. And I highly recommend you all, if you haven't, watch it. And if you haven't seen it in a while, go watch it again. It's a good time.
Definitely is. So that is going to conclude the first of this new segment that I've created for my channel. I am going to be reaching out to other YouTubers. Riot, I know I've reached out to you about doing one of these streams. And I'm actually trying to see if Rhino might be able to do something, or would like to hop on for one as well. I'm reaching out to a lot of
watch the Clone Wars movie.
Which one?
The Filoni one.
Yeah, that might work. I'll actually ask him about that if he wants to do it. And so, yeah, folks, the new segment is basically going to be whichever guest I bring on, they get to choose what movie they want to review and discuss. And also I give them basically their choice of date and time. So yeah, that's the news segment. That's how I plan on doing it. And yeah, thank you everybody showing up. Raquel SSG, Riot Kitty, Stunning Brave, Jacob, everybody, Jade Shadow, oh my god, Biggles, Scimitar, NB, Epi, Metalong, Sherry, lovely Sherry, Keely. How many others? Oh my god, I had a lot of people in this today. Janet from Another Planet. And I believe that is everybody.
And Naked HD XYZ on live strips without clothing.
Yeah, that one too. Thank you. And Jacob Ironside, Dan Blackroyd. I go through the whole chat to see how many people, because I'm still a younger channel and I can keep it up with that. Thank you to all who are supporting the channel. Also, remember, if you guys get me to 1,000 subs before June, I'll dye the hair and I'll dye the beard. And I'll allow myself to be the butt of jokes for years to come. So thank you so much, Lethal, for stopping in and discussing a great movie.
Thank
Folks,
you.
subscribe to Lethal, go to his Twitch, and check out his Halo reviews and whatnot. I myself am not a Halo fan per se, but I'm thinking about looking into it, just not through the show. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you watched the replay, what did you think of Batman Beyond Return of the Joker? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below, folks. This has been Orange Hat Reviews. Stay humble.
Ta-ta.